I accidentally pushed the button on my camera and it stopped recording, so I have to stitch this together. Anyway, so what's happening here is when the red light goes out, then you can start the engine, and then you have the blue light which stays on about 3 to 5 minutes longer, and then the green light which stays on about for another 10 minutes. So it takes about 15-20 minutes to heat up the whole engine and the whole system, but you can start driving after the initial 2 minutes, which is the red light here, when the red light goes out. Okay, this is a knob for controlling the backlighting on the gauges, and yeah, so what else? These are not hooked up yet. This will be for my transmission cooler fan. These two are not hooked up yet. Okay, and then this little button here is for the glow plugs. See, the glow plug light comes on, so I have manual control over the engine glow plugs. Okay, and then what did I want to tell you about this? Yeah, so okay, so I'm gonna start the engine and show you how this thing behaves. So I just turned on the ignition, and the pressure builds up immediately. See, it's going up. It's going up. You don't have to wait to start. I'm just showing you now where the pressure builds up. And it stays at about 20 psi, 15 psi, 20, 15 and 10 psi. That's the setting. So when it stabilizes, then it's a little bit lower. When the engine is running, then the pressure goes a little bit lower, and then when you're driving, it's even lower. But it's very stable because it stays between 10 and 5, and this one stays between 15 and 10, and this one stays between about 15 and 10. Yeah. So the reason I have a higher pressure gauge here, this is a 100 psi gauge, and this is a 20 psi gauge. That's also a 20 psi gauge. So this is showing me the pump pressure, the pressure that the pump is sending up front, and this is showing me the pressure after the first filter, the primary filter, which is the big one, right? And then this gauge is showing me the pressure after the secondary filter. So it actually, these three gauges tell me exactly the condition, you know, the cloggedness of the filters, because the pressure drop will be greater when the filters are clogged up. Now everything is clean, so you don't see a big difference, but when the filters are clogged up, the separation will grow between the two gauges. You always look at two gauges, this compared to that, and then this compared to that. And when you see a big separation, especially when you're accelerating, you'll know that one of the filters is getting clogged up. Okay, and the first one is just the turbo pressure. This one is the pump heater temperature. You'll see this go up to 280 degrees when it's heating up the pump. And the second one is the smaller heater block on the left side of the pump, and that goes up to about 160 degrees. And the seventh gauge is transmission temperature, and I just need that. The transmission temperature, I need it for when I'm pulling my trailer and I'm going through the mountains and stuff like that. I just want to be able to see, you know, what that does to my temperature, you know, transmission oil temperature, because you can cook your tranny very easily. You know, if you're driving through the Rockies, you could cook your tranny within an hour if you don't know what you're doing. And I have a auxiliary transmission oil cooler under the bed. I think that's a custom setup. It came with the truck. So I don't know what else to show you. So this is a very beefy setup. Okay, this thing cost me about maybe $1,000, $1,200, I don't know exactly, in parts. Plus I was working on it for 3 weeks. 3 weeks almost continuously, but we had some bad weather, so it's not exactly 3 weeks, but you know, that's what it took as far as time to finish this conversion. So I tell you, this thing is so much work. If I were ever to do a conversion like this for somebody else, I would have to charge like $3,500 for everything. I mean, including 7 gauges and everything that you see here. But you know, it's really worth it, because you would be saving that much on a big truck like this, like in less than you know 4 or 5 months you would be saving about that much, and then you know, and then the truck and the conversion pays for itself by running free fuel. So yeah, I may do this for other people if they are willing to pay the money, but you know, I'm not gonna be doing conversions for peanuts anymore, because people just don't appreciate how much work it takes to create something like this. So anyway, well, just show you some of the things under here. I gotta tug these wires up a little bit. But look how many connections. There are 15, there is a 15 conductor wire coming from the control panel. And plus 4 tubes, nylon tubes for the gauges. This engine is a lot quieter than some of my other engines, and I think it's because it's really new. Sounds really crisp and quiet, and just very nice setup. All new batteries. 85 amp hour batteries, that's enough to run 9 glow plugs. So that's all I have. This is my new work truck. I love it. You guys have fun out there. Happy veggieing, and God bless you. Keep the faith. Peace out.